And we are back with Final Fantasy II.
You're looking for a forest, and now I'm playing Persona instead of Final Fantasy the City.
Persona 4 Gold, best Persona game ever made. Possibly, might even be greater than Persona 5 when it comes out. If it comes out. We never know with Atlas. It might never exist. Alright, Chocobos! Everyone loves these cute little bastards. Well, what? It's a magical thing, and it makes us run through the desert really quickly. And you don't want to go through the desert because it will kill you! It has near-end game battles everywhere! Luckily the Chocobo just kind of ignores battles altogether. Okay, here's where we need that pass we picked up a couple dungeons earlier. Or you can just tell on Wild Rose and then he attacks you on sight. And then when he dies, he's like the only guy to ever vanish. It's the captain. Oh god damn it! One fucking step and I get God! Yeah. The amount, like, just the frequency of enemies spawning is just so absurdly high in this. And there's no item to lower it. Okay, this is me with my little map. That didn't tell me how to enter that room. So I just kind of had to walk face first into walls.
So why are giant rats called stunning?
Because you can't just call them fucking rats. I think this might have still been using, essentially, creatures from Dungeons & Dragons. Because that's originally what Final Fantasy was. An unlicensed Dungeons & Dragons game. Just kind of changed the name slightly of creatures that were already in it. Sometimes. And then just kind of slap on a little excuse for it. Then this one came out and decided, yeah, let's give it a full plot. Let's also not really change all the creatures. I mean, we already got a full roster. Why fix what ain't broke? Yeah. Luckily now magicians actually use spells. But then again, that's probably a good thing for Final Fantasy 1. Except for half the spells don't work, so it's kind of tricky thing to split. Yeah. Where am I going with this game? Alright, we got a sword for CJ. So she's not completely useless now. Now she can accidentally cast sleep on things.
Accidentally? How do you accidentally cast sleep?
Well, when you do 0 damage to the enemy and you hit them, sometimes you have a chance of casting sleep. Also works if they aren't actually. Well, also works if you don't do 0 damage. But you know what? There's not something CJ specialized in. So look, 46 damage, 882 damage. Kinda shows you just how useless swords are at this point. And yes, I do know the random encounters aren't supposed to be ended in 1 or 2 turns, but fuck that. The rate of them are just so high that it just kinda wears on you. And that if any of them actually hit you, if one enemy hits you each round, you're not going to make it past the dungeon. You're probably not going to make it past the first fucking floor.
Wait a second. I only had 1 day off. And it's Monday all the time.
Welcome to Japan!
Oh yeah. Oh, so they have school on Saturdays, what?
Yes, it's supposed to be a half day, but they can't really show that gameplay-wise.
Okay.
Personally, I preferred if they kind of gave you a little more bonus points to your social links. Or gave you like a little extra experience if you went to a dungeon. But now we're talking about a far more superior game than this one. Yeah. If you didn't know, I'm a massive Persona fan, and I'm forcing McNinj to play it.
You didn't force it, you sort of just gave it to me and I played that until 4 in the morning down at yours at one point.
Yeah, funny story behind that. He came over, I gave him my PSP so he would shut up for a while and let him play Final Fantasy 7, because he'd been dying to play it since, like, forever. Thing is though, he gets distracted really, really fucking easily.
No, it's mainly just because Final Fantasy I found a bit confusing, so I decided to...
How? You're playing Persona, and that game...
Shut the fuck up!
How'd you find Final Fantasy confusing, but Persona is just... Oh yeah, this is fine. Yeah, perfect. I know what Bufu is. I know what Zero means. I know what Marin Karen means. Probably said that one wrong. God! What do you do? And you turn down games for having slow starts, and Persona 4 has... It's like 4 hours before you actually verse anything. Okay, maybe 2 hours before you verse Shadow Yosuke. But 4 hours before you get to actually start doing social links or exploring dungeons whenever you want.
Cultural club.
You know you want to enter the dungeon. Come on. Save Yukiko.
Not yet. Where's the faculty thingy?
Oh god damn. Oh yeah, just also to put clarification on how bad McNinj is at RPGs. Okay. Second battle in Persona 4. Your first Shadow Yosuke, which is the first boss, technically. The battle is literally zap it, block. Zap it, block. Zap it, block. You ran out of fucking healing items. I didn't think that was possible. Oh, 3 damage. Yes, thank you, Gordon. You truly contribute so much to this game. I wouldn't be able to do anything without you.
Hell Geigers?
Yeah. Next dungeon, this guy's a basic enemy, and he shows up in teams of 2 or 3. Actually, I don't think he can show up in groups of 3. I know he can show up in 1 or 2, with a couple other enemies, and kick your fucking ass. Oh yeah, we picked up some armor. Never gonna use it. Or at least not until my evasion's at like 99. No, not evasion, my agility. Evasion is based on both shield, skill, and your agility. So each point of agility, 1 point of evasion. Each shield you equip, if you're at the same level I am at this point, about, I don't know, 50 evasion? Okay, this is the maze in possibly the most ridiculous way. You can't kill these guys and make them move, because if you attack them, they just kind of still stand there awkwardly. So you gotta walk around them instead of just kind of pile driving them through the ground and gain the heart of the ship.
Huh.
You know, the easy way to get there. No, you gotta run past all the weak random encounters.
You're half.
I know it. Actually, how can it be half-assed? I'm forcing you to play this through blackmail, and I played the hardest Final Fantasy game made.
Yep.
How did I half-ass anything?
I don't know.
Okay, maybe with my grinding of all fuck, but... Well, you can't really beat the game unless you do that. Okay, we just threw a fire into the ship engine. Most situations that probably wouldn't do much, since the size of this fucking thing. Hey, it's McNinj! Wait, by the way, I looked at the actual map of this area. There was no door on that side, or any other side except the side we came in.
Wait, Sid's in this one as well?
Yeah, Sid's in all of them, except 1. And even in the V-release in 1, they just kind of... They don't make the character name Sid, but he does get referenced quite a few times. Now, for the slowest escape sequence ever! We are running... This is slower than your walking animation, I'm pretty sure.
Quickly, out of the ship!
Quick, kind of casually stroll out. No random enemies will try to attack us. Now, they're not going to run to the cause of the problem and see 4 rebels, one of which is a prince. Oh, yeah, we can just casually stroll out of here. What? Yeah. Matter of fact, I think I might even strut my way out. Yeah. Yeah. Gotta show everyone what you got. Yeah. Totally. This isn't boring or tedious at all. Oh god. You see, okay, I think sequences like this are probably what make the emulated version of this game the most... just the perfect copy of this game. Because you just hold spacebar and it just skips past this whole sequence. And then you can get back to the actual gameplay. Which is still boring and repetitive and kind of bullshit. But you know what? It's probably more interesting than your character strutting out of the palace. No, not the palace, the giant warship. Why did I say palace? How about the end games? Palace.
Not everywhere.
Oh, look, an island. But that's probably going to become important later. Who knows? I can tell you this though, because we blew up that, something even worse is going to show up. That's just how the Emperor rolls. But that's not going to show up till after we release the Ultimate Weapon Ultimate Auspicious. which is kind of shit due to programming errors and fact and how it actually calculates damage.
Yeah.
Imagine a spell that gains power if your other spells are at max level. That sounds like a good deal, doesn't it? You max out one spell, you get an overly powered spell or something else. It's supposed to ignore all defense, can't be blocked, stuff like that. In theory, that sounds cool. In practice, though, you need to grind the shit out of it. And since magic is kind of useless in this game, since, well, axes and fists is just so much more efficient, and you don't run out of mana, it's just a much better solution to just ignore it completely and just slap things with spears and shit.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, by the end of the game, I didn't even have Cure, which I use I use in most fights, really. After, well, the fights I don't actually record, or when I'm grinding and stuff like that. Most use spell. I think I got to level 11. On a different character than the one I gave Ultima to. Yeah. And to make matters worse, in the original release, which again is buggy as all shit, it was just... It didn't even calculate that. It only went off its own damage.
Izanagi!
Izanagi!
Let's try lightning.
No, it resists all of them.
Except for what?
Except for All Might. Which
No.
you don't have. So eat shit.
So basically I just have to attack everybody.
Yeah. Gotta get criticals on all of them. Only way you're ever gonna win. Oh man, the king died. Sorry, too distracted by a much better game. I wonder how decent the audio's got. Oh, there we go. Ah, beautiful. Hey, Gordon. Yeah. Let's get the Dragoons. First time they showed up in the series. And I'm pretty sure in the original release, they didn't add the one Dragoon you do find, he couldn't use spears very well. Instead he used swords, which makes me sad, because I don't like swords. They're boring, they're overused. Spears are much better. You can stab someone from across the room.
Just gonna continuously rush.
That's not gonna work, and that's the reason you
It
die
is.
so much.
No, because they're just standing there just looking
They run away! And they do a lot of damage. Well, this person wasn't here before. Oh, they have a sprite. They're probably going to be important.
Maybe.
Oh, what's that? The hang to the place we're hanging to? Oh, yeah, that's a little too convenient. I'm going to go with CJ on this one. No, King. No. No, King. We can steal the boat on this place and sail off. Ah, god damn it, King. You don't exit the town that way.